What's up everybody, and welcome to my unboxing video of the AMD Ryzen 1700X and Asus Crosshair 6 Hero motherboard. Now I'm pretty excited. Today is launch day for the 1700X, and I really haven't looked at many of the reviews yet. They just went live a couple hours ago. I'm pretty excited. Pre-ordered this on Newegg, and thankfully it arrived. I also had the motherboard in my cart with this, but they actually sold out, and so I tried ordering it on Amazon, but Amazon didn't ship it, and the 1700X was on the way, so I just went ahead and went down to my local Micro Center, about an hour drive, and they had like 20 of these motherboards available, so I got pretty lucky there. So I'm going to go ahead and start by opening this up. I should have grabbed a pair of scissors. Alright, it's pretty exciting. It's pretty lightweight, so if you pre-ordered this, you will not be getting a cooler. Just to kind of address the bear in the room, initial kind of leaks and rumors in the one review I did read, they were saying that the memory clock speed on these Ryzen processors isn't the greatest. You can only get your DDR4 to about 3000 megahertz max, which I don't think is a huge issue. I'm kind of side grading from a 5820K. I kind of bought this processor knowing that. I wasn't expecting it to be necessarily better, but more of a side grade, more cores, but probably less IPC. So as you can see on the inside, the 1700X does not come with a heatsink. If you saw the reviewer samples, theirs didn't either, but I was thinking maybe the consumer ones would. That's okay. Whoops. I went ahead and picked up a 212 EVO adapter while I was at Micro Center, so I'll be putting that on there. Now, you can get these free from Cooler Master. They're out of stock, but Micro Center did have it available. They charged me $5 for it, which isn't too bad. I'll probably be putting a custom loop or a radiator on this at some time if I decide to keep it. I'll probably also be uploading some overclocking videos a little bit later on. But there's the chip and the case badge. It looks pretty nice, very similar to like the FX A350 or something like that. It says AMD RYZEN 1700X on it, and it looks like a CPU. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up this box here. A manual, I don't really need that. Now there's a lot of hype surrounding Ryzen, and so much so that I would almost say that there's no way it could live up to the hype. And I did see some of the benchmarks were pointing towards i5 performance in terms of gaming, but I guess we're going to go ahead and find out. I'm going to be throwing my 980 Ti in with this a little bit later and doing some benchmarks. So, pretty excited. FedEx just dropped this off literally less than 5 minutes ago. And here's our chip, the beautiful 1700X. Now I'm pretty excited about this. It's the first time there's been real competition in the enthusiast segment of CPUs in quite a while. Now I'll be combining this processor with some of G-Skill's TridentZ RGB RAM. 16 gigs here. This is a 3000 megahertz kit, so I will be playing around with the RAM speeds and timings, overclocking it a little bit, just to see what I can get on my Ryzen, to see if it can even hit the 3000 megahertz that this comes with. I did hear that there's a BIOS update for day one users to kind of address that RAM speed issue, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. As you can see, the TridentZ, it looks very nice. One side's black, one side is kind of a gray. It looks very nice. Has a little bit of weight to it. It feels pretty premium. Other than that, though, I mean, it's basic DDR4 minus the RGB LED at the top. Now, I don't know if the software is actually out for this yet. On the box, it said that the software was supposed to come out in February 2017. I haven't looked yet. And if it's not available, then this will just kind of display in a rainbow color. And now the other main attraction here, we have the Asus Crosshair 6 Hero. Very nice box as always. Expect nothing less from an ROG board. The X99 board that I was running with my 5820K was the ASRock X99 Extreme 4, and I had 8 gigs of crucial 2400 megahertz RAM. So this won't be quite an apples to apples comparison when I do benchmark this, but I mean, that's part of the reason why I wanted to move away and upgrade. It's because I wanted to create a nicer system with a cleaner look. When I did X99, I was really going for like a budget build. So inside here we have really nice packaging, and it says "Welcome to the Republic." This is one of the things I love about Asus, and especially ROG, is that their packaging is just really nice. And there's the main attraction itself right there. The motherboard, it looks absolutely fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and take off that cover. I've already kind of peered in here a little bit. There wasn't any sort of plastic or anything that I've already removed. But yeah, it looks really nice. So you have aluminum heat sinks here, kind of a plastic I/O shield right here, heat sink right there for the chipset, and your PCI ports are reinforced for the 1 and 2. You only have 16 lanes for graphics on Ryzen, so I mean, you really don't need the third one to be reinforced, and it would be kind of in the way of all that stuff down there anyways. The top one is wired for X16, whereas the second one's wired for X8, which makes sense. If you put a second card, you're going to be putting both into X8. Overall, I would say it's a pretty nice board. One nice thing about this compared to other AM4 boards is that it actually has the AM3 mounting holes on it. So I didn't even really need to buy that adapter for the 212 Evo, but I don't know where my AM3 mounts are, so I needed to get those anyways. You have debug LED up here, some headers for an AIO pump, that's very nice, and fan headers up here. Obviously you have CPU and I'm guessing extra power for the PCI lanes, very nice. Some ports over here. Now, one thing I was kind of surprised by is that this board does not have built-in Wi-Fi. But what we do have is a little M.2 port right back there, and you can put an M.2 Wi-Fi card in there, which is kind of nice, and I'll probably be doing that if I can keep this, if I decide to keep this. Now, since this is replacing my 5820K, I ran that at about 4.4 gigahertz. I would like to get the 1700X to 4.2. But based on some of the initial reviews and impressions, it looks like 4 is going to be the max. So based on how performance is, I guess I'll go from there. We have fan header down there, you know, start, a reset, safe boot, and retry button. All of that's very nice. We also have an LN2 switch. So overall, this is a very, very nice motherboard. We have an RGB header down here. It looks pretty nice. 8 SATA connections over here, and then a USB 3.1 header. Sorry, I'm just kind of skipping around down here, but overall, it's very nice. I'm pretty excited to get this in to my system. And on the back, we have lots of I/O. So a total of 8 USB 3, 2 USB 3.1, 1 Type A, 1 Type C, and then 4 USB 2.0, followed by all of your audio ports, a reset, and a reset BIOS. So honestly, this is very nice. This is probably, in my opinion, the best looking AM4 motherboard currently available. And also inside the box, we just have this kind of plastic sitting in there. The tray for the motherboard. Oh, a coaster. That's kind of nice, I guess. I'll just set that there. Our BIOS, or not BIOS, but driver disc. Pretty nice. I don't know if you saw my VisionTech unboxing, but the driver disc in there was kind of pathetic. Whereas this is very premium. You know, we got a case badge, all of which is very, very nice. Some cable labels, nice of ROG to include that in there, and then a coupon code for cable mod. I'm not going to show this to the camera, but there's that. It's pretty nice. I might do some cable mod cables a little bit later. I'm not doing my full build just yet, but there's also a user guide in here, and I'm assuming there's going to be some SLI cables and Crossfire. Well, not Crossfire, but some SLI cables. Alright, so we have 2 SATA cables, 2 more, total of 4, and then what do we have here? Alright, so this looks like an extender for our RGB connection. And then on the other side, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but there's just kind of flaps where the cables and whatnot are. On the other side, alright, here is our SLI bridge. So, it looks pretty nice. The finish isn't the greatest. There's some scratches on here, but this is a high bandwidth bridge too, which is pretty nice, so it'll work with 10 series cards. I probably will get either 1070 or 1080, maybe SLI them a little bit later on, but for now I'm just going to be using my overclocked 980 Ti. And then we have a screw here for our M.2 port, and then a little standoff for the case headers down here, and a 3D printing mount. Right, so one of the nice things about this board are it's designed to work with various 3D printed components. You can 3D print a little fan stand here, or fan mount I should say, to cool your M.2 better. The M.2 port is right here if you have an M.2 SSD. And then there's also something else you can put over here, I believe. I don't remember offhand exactly what the other thing that you can 3D print is. But that's kind of unique, something a little bit different. Alright, and then the last thing we have is the I/O shield. As always, the ROG I/O shields look amazing, finished in black. We have all of our ports on there and everything. And there's nothing else in here. So, no Crossfire cables, but I mean, or bridges I should say, but AMD hasn't been using those since the launch of the 290, so that's not a very big issue. And that is the unboxing of our 1700X and Crosshair 6 motherboard. Overall, I'd say very nice, and sorry if this was a little quick. I'm just excited to get this in my system and to do some benchmarking. Thanks for watching.